obviously it's helped you, but in what ways has it opened up everything you guys do offensively, having Tez at home?
Yeah, it's just nice to have him out there. He's he's a heck of a player. I saw that tonight. He's just, like you said, he helps the guys around him. It really wasn't as much, as a showcase tonight, because he was the one that really had the big game. But last game was a testament to that. Just having guys open, and he's unselfish. He's tough to bring down. It's one of the best things that about him that people haven't seen. Even though he's kind of a leaner guy, he's tough to tackle. Y'all saw that, and just confident. It's a confidence booster when you have him rolling out there, and he's seeing his smile out there on the field. It's fun. It's good times.
What was the primary adjustment you guys made offensively at halftime?
They bring up some different blitz looks. Just seeing them and knowing what they were doing. Miami did a good job of kind of mixing it up. It started just to man us, and we caught him in cover 4 with the Tez post, and he made a nice catch. Underthrew it a little bit, and then after that, the defense is the main thing. I think that was the main adjustment. They shut him down in the second half. Had some big stops. Had some turnovers. We didn't capitalize on one of the turnovers, and on the second ones, we got a little bit lucky after the holding call. I think it was a 3rd and 20 or third and long at least. After that, and just showed out and made plays when it matters. I think I was a little bit off on some throws tonight. I was unbelievable warm-ups, so sometimes it's one of those things that happens. But glad to come out to win. Shout out to the crowd out there tonight. It was a night game, and felt like we were bumping there in Keaton.
The drive at the end of the first half, I think 70 out of 75 yards were on the ground. How much, if any, did that open things up for the passing game in the second half?
Yeah, oh yeah. Coach Lindsey came in at halftime and said, we're going to need to run the football, and we're running it well. I thought we were kind of looking to throw it in the air sometimes, and it's tough to bring down 28. He's a, we call him Hammerhead. He'll go in there and he'll run you over, and he's breaking tackles better than he did last year. He's seeing better. Sometimes I get on him a little bit. He'll be down the sideline, and sometimes out of peripheral, he doesn't really see the guys, and they'll get a good pop. I think he's maybe one time tonight. I think number 20 got him up maybe on one of the first few carries, but heck of a player. He did in the passing game too. 28 and 24 British. Them two do a great job, and they do a good job of keeping those guys rotating.
The ability to run the ball in the first half, did that kind of open things up for the passing game? In the second half.
Yeah, I think we wanted to not stay married to anything, but try to find a balance, and I think it definitely did. They were forced to play man on us. They were having. We were in 7 boxes, running into 7 boxes, and then you don't want to do that in football when you only got 6 up there blocking. And we were still getting yards and moving the chains. So I think I could have done some better jobs checking some plays and make some better decisions. But at the end of the day, 28 was making a miss.
What's the locker room like after a game like that, where your back said you guys didn't play you guys, but you still won?
Yeah, just one of those things where just find ways to win. Just testament to this team. Coach Porter, we gave him the game ball. His mom passed away this week, and just Coach Porter, he showed up every day and just shows kind of this team. He showed up and worked, and when things go on, when Tez isn't eligible, when Kobe goes down, when people are going down, people just keep stepping up, making plays. Forgetting about their personal life and worrying about this team and getting to where we want to go. So I think we got a good chance. We got a good football team, and excited for what's to come.
Drake, you talked a lot about the offseason, how you build that connection with the transfer wide receivers, specifically Tez. What was kind of your first initial reaction or moment with him, whether it was in the winter when he came in or over the summer, that you kind of realized he could be a special piece of this offense?
Yeah, I think one of the first few plays in spring practice, I think I hit him on a go route for a touchdown, and I think as quarterbacks, we kind of said he's going to be some trouble for some people, and I saw that tonight. 3 touchdowns, and I think I should have found a way to target him some more. He's making plays all night. I think I missed him on a dropout, and then other than that, he's just he's a ball player. Whether it's basketball, football, whatever it is. He brought us in on Thursday. He said, Drake, you want to watch some film? And we got, pretty much all the receivers together in the receiver room and just me in there with the guys. And really he was the one asking, to go in there and watch some extra film and just testament to who the guy he is and, how much he wants to win.
Drake, you seem to kind of get into a groove, probably in that second half. I know you talked a little bit about how the run game opened things up, but in that Miami secondary, was there anything in particular they were kind of doing early on in that game, and just kind of how'd you, kind of observe that and bring that into the second half?
Yeah, they were mixing it up. We knew that at 2x2 they were going to play their quarters look. Sometimes they'll cover 2 to the boundary, but we got 3x1, moving tight end around there, manning us up, and I think I did a better job of giving our guys a chance with some man routes. I missed John Cope on a wheel route with the end pull, with the end peeled on him. Nate, I threw him 2 fade and didn't even give him a chance. So just little things where they're heating us up a little bit, and they did a good job. But testament to the guys up front for battling their butts off and being able to run the football. I'm not sure how much we ran it for. How much did Big O run it for?
197.
Yeah, 200. I think could have ran for more if we gave him the rock more. So those guys, that last run, up the middle where Big O, he was mad. He said he got hawked. So we always joke about him for getting caught. But I think Corey and those guys make huge blocks and just kind of have some things come together, and it was fun out there.
Drake, you got hit a lot in the first half. How do you stay composed taking those big hits? How do you stay composed?
I think one of the big things was that in that first half, I think the fumble in the end zone, that was a heads-up play by Kamara to catch that and get out of the end zone. That was a huge play for us. And just after you get hit, they brought a free safety. They brought Cam once from the free safety in a zero look and got me. And then that cover zero stuff. It's gonna make them pay when they blitz. That's the big thing. When they're blitzing, there's not as many people in coverage, so just try to hit them where it hurts. And I told Sid got hurt after that fumble. I told him in the locker room, they're gonna have to drag us off this field. We're not coming out. So that's just mentality and get up. I'm a big dude, and I kind of look skinny, but I've taken some hits growing up. I'm sure Luke and Cole probably hit me harder in the backyard than some of those hits with pads on. So.
You talk about Tez's smile. Like when did you see that?
Yeah, he's all smiles. Yeah, no doubt. Especially after he scores, he's smiling. But in general, just on the sideline, he keeps it real light. He's not really. You can tell he's locked in, but he'll say some stuff just out of the ordinary. Just checking in on me and just regular good old like friend to friend talk and teammate to teammate. It's not all locked in, and he's just got that personality, just lightens up the room. And Nate's got that a little bit too. Me and Nate, we got a lot of laughs, so it's fun out there.
Even with Max saying there's so much that you guys can clean up from tonight, didn't play your best game tonight, you're up 3 touchdowns against that group in the fourth quarter. So how much better can you guys get?
Yeah, like I said, I think offensively from a first half standpoint, we were missing. We weren't clicking on all cylinders, and it's a testament to us to keep going, keep playing, and that defense, the shutout in the second half, and late at the end of the game, I'm sure the defense will look back at the film and say we can't give up in that situation when they know they're throwing it, they know they're gonna go for it on fourth down and stuff. So we got a lot of things to clean up. I think that 2-minute drill at the end of the first half was huge for us to go 3 and out, and they went cover zero on us, and I got to find a way to make a play. So that was huge, and they ended up leading a field goal for them. So the momentum kind of changed, and you kind of felt like you didn't really know what was coming out at halftime, and we had a big statement, big post to Tez that kind of felt like opened up the can of worms.
With that,
Got time for last one.
do you have a feel though for how much better you guys can actually get? Are you when you're in the grind of the season, you just don't really think so much that far ahead? It's just week to week.
Yeah.
But do you sense that there's a sizable margin still for you guys?
100%. I think the sky's the limit with this group. When I think any team can say that out there. When they're all playing on all cylinders, and that's the thing about college football. When you handle adversity, when things aren't going well, how are you going to respond? Because it's hard for teams to go out there every week and play perfect. You don't see that. I think Coach Brown in the locker room said Pitt beat Louisville. Is that right? Yeah. So it's bringing it every week. You're not going to be perfect. And I was testament tonight of just finding ways to win. And I think clock management was huge. We got to get some first downs. We're running it. We still got to be able to run the ball. But at the end of the day, great win. Go Heels.
Says, how was it in practice this week, knowing for the whole week that you'd be in the game plan rather than last week when it was obviously the 2-day in advance?
Yeah, I was able to have a full week to prepare, know what Miami was gonna come with, and also able to prepare with Drake, get a little chemistry back that we had in the spring.
And then obviously going out today, kind of what was it like being able to really use that speed, kind of throughout the game?
Yeah, it just felt nice to be back in a groove. So I just said, had to get back in the groove. And I was able to do that.
Drake thought that you called a meeting Thursday with him and some of the other wide receivers to watch more film. Did you feel like you were just extra locked in, super excited to get this game under your belt since it was like the first full week of practice and film study for you?
Yeah, that's just me in general. Like I prep like that every week, and I feel like it's good to get all the younger receivers to come along and help them whatever they need, help them like learn how to prepare and watch film. So.
Guys, how was it? Did it feel you waited so long to kind of show what you can do with this team? How did it feel after the first touchdown, kind of second touchdown, third touchdown? Did that change at all as you kept scoring?
No, I mean, just went out there and whenever the coach called my number, I just did what they needed me to do.
Tess, how much pride do you take in your performance tonight and winning prime time, especially for a team and also a school that's just been in your corner so much this season?
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
How much pride do you just take in your performance for the team and also for the school that's welcomed you so hard this season?
Yeah, it just felt good, and I'm just hoping the momentum can carry on forward through the next few weeks. Still got a tough road ahead, so.
Take me through that ending to the third touchdown you had there. Saw you kind of threw up a U down right in front of Miami fans. Kind of take me through that moment. Was that kind of those kind of celebration moments you kind of dreamed of happening this year?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, growing up, you hear about Miami, you see teams playing them all over, you see them throwing you down. So, I mean, seeing orange in front of my face, might as well. They were a little chippy too, so.
Did you think maybe defended you a little bit different, you personally a little bit differently, the more Amarian was grinding out on the ground? Was there any change there in some of the coverage on you?
No. I mean, they did change a little bit. When they came out, it looked like they prepped well for us, and we just made a lot of adjustments at halftime, saw what they were doing, and just went at them.
Was the first one, the first touchdown you called, was that big in the sense of just going ahead and getting it under your belt and moving on from that moment? Like, did you feel like that sort of like, you know, like freed you up a little bit more just to say you'd done it?
Yeah, I mean, it felt good. It was just one. I wanted more.
You also had a run in there. I know you scored on a run last year at Kent State. We have just only talked about your receiving skills. Tell us about your running skills and how that maybe throws a wrinkle into what you guys can do, because they didn't really have that with the receivers prior to you.
I mean, I feel like, I can do other things than just catch the ball. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like a natural, like, ball carrier. Somebody needs the ball in their hands. So, I mean, just felt good to incorporate some plays to where I'm able to showcase that.
Is that something that was put in for you?
Yes, sir. I mean, anybody else could have ran it too,
But is that something that was more specifically worked on this week because it's something that you might be more capable of doing some of the other guys?
Yeah.
Where do you rank the onside kick recovery amongst your 3 touchdowns?
I'm sorry?
Where do you rank the onside kick recovery amongst your 3 touchdowns?
I ranked that the best player tonight. Like special teams, I mean, that's what changes games, and I feel like that's what sealed it. So I feel like that's one of the biggest plays of my career, honestly. Never caught an onside kick. No.
Tez, Coach Galloway came up to you afterward and gave you a big hug, and I'm sure he said something to you. Can you share a little bit about what he said to you in that moment?
He just told me congratulations, and he loved me. And you love that out of your coach, you know. They coach you hard all day, every day, throughout the week. So this feels good for them to tell me that.
You've been waiting so long for this moment. Was there a part of you this week that was just like, I have to go out there and show everybody why I can be a difference maker in this offense?
I mean, I had a little feeling of that, but I mean, just wanted to go out there and get the win, really, and just do my part. At the end of the day, winning is what it's all about. So.
Your skill set as a speed guy, especially I guess on that second touchdown you had there. How excited do you get when you're out wide and you've got just single coverage on you and you can tell there's not going to be a safety over there for your help?
Yeah, I mean, I get pretty excited. I see that, and I know the play's coming to me. So I mean, it's just me in the corner at that point. Yeah.
Were you less nervous? I mean, that might not be the right word, but going into this one where you knew you were going to play and you had the whole week to prepare, whereas last week was such a cram session, such a rush to get out there. Were you more settled maybe going into this? Did you feel more relaxed?
Yeah, it was a little more settled. It was way easier. I know all the plays now, so I wasn't as jittery like I was last week.
Do one more test.
Tez, what do you like about the UNC offense? Obviously, you practiced in it, throughout the spring and the fall, but what do you like about, UNC's kind of, offensive influence?
I like that it's similar to the Kent offense. We ran a lot of plays we run. It's very similar to what we did at Kent. It fits my skill set as a deep threat. Drake, he wants to also take shots, so I feel like I fill that void in the deep threat that UNC hasn't had in a while.
Would you say that's the way in which it is similar, just the deep threat element to it?
All right. Thank you, Tez.
Thank y'all.
So what was the primary adjustment you guys made defensively at halftime that showed out in that third quarter?
Adjusting the D-line, we had to fix some gap controls, and in the back end, we had to fix up a couple of little leverages that we was doing. All around, just fixing our leverages and fixing what we could control on our own.
And how did that affect things? What was the effect of making those adjustments?
Just stopping the run, stopping the run, putting more pressure on the quarterback, getting in his face more, and just making him throw, getting out the pocket and stuff.
Elijah, overall, the game did kind of get out of hand from a penalty standpoint. I guess kind of from your vantage point, what is one of the keys of kind of limiting those? You guys didn't have a ton, obviously, going into the game, but what's kind of the key in limiting those moving forward?
Just playing technique, playing sound, playing football at the end of the day. We had a lot of penalties in the first half. Offense had a lot of penalties in the second half, but just overall, just fixing those, playing with technique, and just doing your job.
Elijah, what was the demeanor like at halftime? Just, you guys were trailing. It's the first time you've trailed at the half this season. Like, what was like in there? What were you guys talking about? And how confident were you that you could maybe get it turned around and have the second half that you had?
Just being a player-led team, we all came together. Offense came together, defense came together. We was talking about what we could have did better, making our own little adjustments along with the coaches' adjustments, just talking over plays, making sure that we don't let those plays happen again. So, and we was keeping everybody's heads up. We knew the game was not over with, far from over with, had a whole different half, 0-0 at halftime. So just going back into the game and fixing those adjustments, adjusting to what the coach is telling us to do, and then just going out and playing football.
Elijah, it seemed like Cedric was everywhere out there tonight. What does his presence and his leadership do for y'all as a defense collectively?
He gets us going. He's like the motor of the defense. Before every drive we go, he brings us to the sideline. He talks to us, motivates us, and just continues to push us as a group, as a whole, and as individuals. And then with that pick, that was huge. So they kind of got the motor running.
Coach mentioned there's a lot of things that y'all still want to clean up defensively after this game. And he mentioned that Cedric will probably lead the charge with that this week in practice. What do you think he'll be like this week, trying to get y'all better going into next week?
Just cleaning up like the penalties we had, cleaning up technique, footwork, cleaning up gap control, just cleaning up all the dirty things that we did out there tonight. And just, as I know him, he'll probably, like I said, we're like a player-led team, so he'll be one of the main voices out there as we just continue to go on with the season.
What do you remember about that Cedric interception? That was actually, if I remember correctly, the first play on that particular series, but just kind of being on the field seeing that. What do you remember about that play?
Kind of remember, well, I wasn't on that side of the ball, so I can't tell you exactly what I seen. But from my point of view, all I remember just seeing him drop back. He threw it, went up and made a great grab, and then it was what she wrote from there.
Did Ritzy realize that was his leg that caused the fumble on the first and goal? The fumble that said picked up right before he got rocked. It hit Ritzy's right knee. Did he?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't. He was saying my leg got that one or something like that.
No, he could have had a little leg force fumble. That'd be put that on the stat book.
Obviously, Tez has been on scout team up and obviously until he was deemed eligible last week. But do you have any memories of guarding Tez, either when he was on scout team or throughout the summer or the spring, where you kind of realized this kid is a special talent?
Oh yeah, like the first couple of days of practice in spring, like when we first had our spring practice, he was just high motored, flying down the field, taking the top off on the defense. So he really has been like a help to us, even like when he wasn't eligible to play, just giving us the best looks on scout team, like live reps. So like he was just a blessing to be on scout team. I'm glad he's not on scout team. I'm glad he's on the other side getting those reps.
What did you see from Memorial tonight? That was a defense that number one in the country against the run. They hadn't given up 100 yards to anyone, and he almost had 200. Like,
He's just a dog, like straightforward, just runs hard. Probably one of the hardest backs to tackle from my point of view, because I done tried to tackle him before, so I know what they go through each week trying to tackle him. But he runs hard. He's a fantastic running back. I like Amari.
what's that sight like? What's that sight like when you see him coming and you're coming down from the secondary? Not the greatest.
Just get him down any way you can. No specific way, just got to get him down.
What were your thoughts when you saw that after Seth had the fumble recovered and got clocked, and he didn't get up? A lot of you guys were around him on the field when they were tending to him. What was going through your mind there?
Just hoping that he was okay. Just hoping that he'll get up. Hopefully he was just banged up, or I think he got the breath knocked out of him. So just praying that he got up and making sure, just checking up on him.
Did you see the fist pump after he got up?
I didn't
He
see
gave
it.
a fist pump.
Oh, yeah, I
It was
did see
after
that.
Travis was getting everybody.
Yeah, he
fired
was
up.
probably just telling everybody he's good, but yeah.
You guys good? Thanks, sir.
Let's do it.
Elijah just said you had the wind knocked out of you when you got that fumble. He didn't see you pump your fist when you got up afterward. Take us through that moment. I think Travis was getting people pretty fired up when you got up. So what was that like? Just take us through that.
Well, first of all, it was a crazy play. I really don't know how the ball got out. I just seen it roll in the end zone. I picked it up and I started stumbling. And then as soon as I covered back up, bow, and got the wind knocked out of me, I literally couldn't breathe. I was wheezing on the ground, but I'm good now. Got up, let everybody know I was good.
When you picked that ball up, did you have visions of 100 yards?
I did. And they got shattered real quick.
Cedric, do you like seeing Miami? 2 years ago, you had 2 picks, and then one late in the game against Van Dyke. Today, you get a pick and a fumble recovery, and all the drama around the wind being knocked out of you.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. My mom actually texted me this morning. She's like, "You just always play so great versus Miami. I feel like you're gonna have a good game today." But just went out there and played well. I mean, I guess I do play good versus Miami. I don't really know what it is, but it was just fun to go out there with the guys today and get a win.
Drake said that he told you at some point after you got the wind knocked out of you, they're going to have to drag us off this field.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember him coming up and saying that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he did. He did say that to me. I mean, me and him, we just got this dog mentality. Like he said, you're gonna have to drag us off the field. The wind getting knocked out of me, that's not gonna stop me. That's not gonna keep me from not playing into that. So he was just saying it's gonna take a lot, to really take us off the field, because that's just how we're built.
Were you you're right? Was that sort of your response?
Yeah. I kind of let him know, I'm good. We're gonna keep fighting.
How did you read that interception you had? I can't remember the exact quarter, but I know it was the first play of that drive. Just how did you read that play, kind of backpedaling into it?
Yeah, well, so they had a 3-by-1 set to the boundary, and they motioned the guy over back to the field. We were kind of in a cover 3 defense. So I'm the strong hook dropper, so I have to get to the hash and really kind of work to the hash, and he kind of threw it right on it. That's kind of one of the things that a linebacker has to be good at is kind of playing the hash. That's usually where a lot of quarterbacks throws like to go to with those in-breaking routes, and was just able to get under the route and pick it off.
Cedric, you blew up a screen pass there in the first half where it looked like if it hadn't been there, it might have been a huge game and shifted some momentum. Can you take me through that play, just as a linebacker, what you're thinking, trying to kind of blow up these plays that maybe could be explosive?
Yeah, well, I think we were just in the defense where I had the back. I'm kind of man-to-man, and, running backs they all kind of do the same thing when it's a screen pass. They all just kind of hop up to the line and then turn their back. So I was very reactive to it. When he started coming up, I started approaching him, and then when I noticed it was screen, it was just an all-out run to him and try to get him down on the ground.
Kirk, you've got a lot to clean up after a game like this, and that you're probably going to be the guy who leads that charge this week at practice. What kind of things do you feel like are the most important? And then, having not played your best game, beating a good team, do you have a feel for where the ceiling in this team is?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is that our penalties were awful today. We had far too many penalties. We shot ourselves in the foot on offense and defense. I think the first drive Miami scored, they had 45 yards in penalty yards, which is unacceptable. It's hard to play like that. So I say that's like the very first thing that I noticed that we need to clean up as a team. But we'll come back, we'll watch the film. We see what we did good, see what we did bad, and just fix our mistakes like we do every week and move on.
Said you played a lot of football. Are there some games, maybe like tonight, where your best players just have to be your best players? And, Drake, Tez, Omarion. I'm thinking for the offense. Those dudes showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Is this, was this one of those nights where you can sort of look at the star power on that side of the ball and be like, we've got some guys that can do some things?
Yeah, we got, great players on our team who want to compete every week. It was a primetime game versus a harder opponent, I would say, than we've, played the past few games. So I think, the saying, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And I think, a lot of our big-time players was able to do that tonight.
We've talked a lot about adjustments this season, which you guys have been able to make, and you had to make more adjustments at halftime tonight. Because you've had so much success with that, when you go into the halftime tonight, with the game going the way it was, how much having so much confidence in the staff that the adjustments they're telling you to make are going to work as a part of this process for you guys?
Yeah, I think our adjustments, worked great. If you look at our third quarter play, gave up no touchdowns in the third quarter. Offense, I think, scored 2 touchdowns. So we just came out on a roll, making adjustments to what they were doing. But yeah, like I said, previous weeks before, that's something that we're confident that we're able to do as a team, make adjustments, if needed, and not, panic, when anything happens. So
it was 24-0 to start the second half for you guys.
Yeah. And staying on the confidence part, though, when you believe so much in what your coaches are telling you, what is it like, as opposed to maybe being in situations where there isn't as much confidence in what the coaches are? I'm not asking you to talk about past people, but currently, when you know that Gene says, okay, this is what we're doing, and you guys have unbridled confidence that that's going to work.
Yeah, well, we all kind of noticed the different things that they're attacking us in the game that is giving us problems. And like you said, a great guy like Gene Chinsky, a great coordinator, making his adjustments. We trust in him, but not only that, from my point of view, they make sense, the type of adjustments that he was making to some of their plays. So, if we just continue to believe and just continue to listen to our coaches and do our jobs, we'll continue to grow.
So you mentioned the penalties just a little bit ago, and going back and watching film on those. Are there specific things you're kind of, looking for when you go back and look at it, and just kind of what are those film sessions like in that review process?
Yeah, well, usually when guys have penalties, it's usually bad technique or they're panicking. That's probably the 2 biggest things when you have penalties. So, you just have to clean those things up. You can't panic in different situations. Speaking from a DB standpoint, and O linemen, they can't just, hold on to a guy just because they might have bad technique or think that they're beat. So if we, fix those things, then, I think the penalty count will definitely go down.
On first glance, just real quick to follow up. On first glance, do you think panic was one of the main causes? I know, again, you haven't looked at it yet, but just kind of being on the field, did you think that was one of the primary causes for those?
No, I don't think it was the primary causes. I'm just saying, that's usually what happens when you tend to get, pass interference or holding calls on defense.
Going back to that play where you got the wind knocked out of you, I can imagine that not being able to breathe, however briefly, is a fairly scary experience. But you mentioned that that's not going to get you down. You're going to get back up from that. How do you do that mentally and just keep playing and play at such a high level like you did?
Yeah, well, I've gotten the wind knocked out of me before. This isn't, the first time happened. Although I will say that was probably like the worst time, experience of it. I was on that ground wheezing, but I kind of knew what was happening. I knew I'd be fine. I knew I just had to catch my breath, and it was ready to go back in.
Last one for Cedric.
not to give you a pass on the penalties because it was almost a school record. You guys look it up.
It was
penalty
bad.
records, man.
It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking up penalty records for God's sakes. But is it in some ways unavoidable when you're playing a team like Miami, who obviously plays with a certain edge, is going to talk? Like, I mean, did it sort of lure you into that type of a game?
I mean, yeah, they're definitely going to be a little chirpy and, you know, try to lure you into those things. But, I mean, that's stuff that we talk about, you know, being disciplined. You know, Coach Brown literally said it before the game, you know, they're a little chippy team. They like to talk a lot. Don't react to them. Let them get the penalty. Coach literally gave us that message. So with us already knowing that, I mean, you just got to play smart and not respond.
All right. Thank you, Zeb.
Great stuff, Ed.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you.